Alright guys, this is absolutely the saddest sight you could possibly see when you're a motorcycle rider. Alright everybody, what is up? What is up as always? Thanks for stopping by to another video today. Today we are approaching one of the saddest times of year, depending on where you live in the country. One of the saddest times of year in southeastern Pennsylvania is winter, when you can't really ride a whole lot, when those temperatures are down in the 20s and 30s. We've got snow, sleet, rain, ice out there, and that really becomes probably the saddest time for any motorcycle rider, is when you got to kind of consider, when's your next ride going to be? It might be a while, it might be several weeks, might be several months, depending on where you live in the country. And so that's why the saddest time of year is when you have to consider putting away your bikes for an extended period of time. And if you do that, what approach should you take? I know a lot of riders, depending on where you live and what climate you live in, you can sometimes ride all year round. Sometimes you can hop out in the middle of winter if you get a nice day and go for a little scoot, which is always fun. But I want to give you guys some insight into my approach to how I winterize my bikes and what I do if they're going to have to sit for a longer extended period of time. And I'd be curious to hear your guys' feedback as well. What are some of the tips and tricks you guys do to winterize your bikes if they're going to be stored for a little while, or you know you're not going to be able to take them out on the road for an extended period of time? Now, I know there is a lot of different approaches that people can take when they're storing their bikes, depending on when they think they might be able to ride again. I've heard everything from people drain all the fluids, refill them at the beginning of winter, and then at the end of winter. I've heard some people like to have them up on a jack, climate cool, safe areas. Obviously, there's so many different approaches you can take. I like to take somewhat of what I would call a half winterization approach, because the weather here in southeastern PA in the Philadelphia region can really be hit or miss. We have gone winters with absolutely no snow and some pretty mild temperatures in the 35 to 40, 45, 50 range. And I'll tell you what, if it's sunny and 45, I'll probably pull one of these bikes out and take it for a little ride around town just to get that feeling back of what I know is coming for spring and summer. So my approach, I do what I consider kind of a half winterization approach. I take a few main steps to keep the bikes protected if they're going to be sitting a while, but also in a state of where I can pull one out quickly, take it for a quick little spin, and put it right back in if I need to. So I would say I don't fully put it away, but I also don't just let it sit around and not have any precautions either. So I really break it down into three simple things that I do to get my bikes ready for sitting for a little bit of a period of time. The first one is I take them down to the gas station, I fill up the tanks, and I throw some Sta-Bil in there to preserve the gas that I just put in. So from what I have heard is you want to have your gas tank full all the way to the top so that you can reduce the chances of any condensation building up in some of that empty space. Next thing I do is I take my bottle of Sta-Bil with me, I throw some of that in the tank, and then I ride it right back home, which it takes about 5 to 7 minutes. Get some of that fuel protected, running through the system to preserve all the gas that's in there when I don't know how long it's going to be sitting for. So that's the first thing I do. Step number two, next thing I do is I just give these things a quick little detail, a quick little wipe down. I don't want them sitting around for any long period of times with dirt and gunk and grime all over them. So I'll just give them a quick little wipe down and get the dust and dirt off of there so that they're sitting nice and pretty for any extended period of time before I can ride again. And then of course finally step number three that I will take if these are going to sit for a little bit of time, I go ahead and throw them on the battery tenders. So I've got two trickle chargers here, one for my Sportster, one for my Street Bob. The one for my Sportster is a special lithium ion charger. Because I have a lithium ion battery in this, they do take a special charger. But I just go ahead, throw them on the tender, make sure that that battery is getting that constant charge, making sure that it's getting that trickle charge so that the thing doesn't die and completely kill itself over winter. That also helps if we get a nice day in between. I can just unplug it. I know the battery's going to be fresh and good to go. Roll one of them out, take a quick little ride, bring it back in, and plug it back into the tender. Now, I use these mostly over winter. I know a lot of people say it's beneficial and good to have these things on a tender for battery life all year round. Sometimes I forget, sometimes I don't necessarily have that luxury, but definitely over winter, you are going to want to keep your battery on a tender to extend the life of your battery and also the electronics of your bike, making sure they're not getting killed and drained over those cold winter months when this thing isn't able to be out on the streets. Alrighty guys, so like I said, that is my quick and simple approach to winterizing and storing my bikes over winter if they can't be ridden for a longer or extended period of time. 3 simple little things that are going to kind of help preserve the life of your bike and have this thing ready to go for the next season, spring, summer, whenever it starts to get nice out. Remember, I like to top off the tanks, put the fuel stabilizer in as step number 1. I'll bring them in, give them a quick little detail and wipe down step number 2, and then finally, just go ahead and toss them on those battery chargers, get your tenders out, hook them in, make sure we keep that battery life good and the electronics of the bike good as well. And again, that gives me the flexibility to where if we get a nice day through some of these winter months, 45, 50 degrees, no salt on the roads, it's looking good and sunny out there, I can simply roll one out, take it for a spin, come right back in and put it where it was for the rest of winter. So that's my simple approach. As always, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What is your approach to storing your bike over winter if you have to, or any longer extended period of time? I'll be curious to hear you guys' feedback down in the comments. As always, that's going to wrap it up for now, guys. Make sure you ride safe out there.